kind of your family life and then the story eventually of your diagnosis.
My name is Dustin Douglas. I have an 18-year-old now and an 11-year-old now. When I was diagnosed last year, in April 13th, my kids were obviously a year younger, 17 and 10, and it was a pretty big blow to everybody. My 10-year-old didn't really understand what was happening, so she just kind of ignored it. My 17-year-old, it did a number on her. I actually ended up sending her to her mom's in Virginia while I was going through treatment because everything just got so ugly. I was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma, it's oropharyngeal cancer. They had to do a double neck dissection on my neck on May 23rd, which normally people can work through the first month of radiation and sometimes chemo, but the surgery just put me out right away, knocked me out of work the day of the surgery, and then my recovery was about a month and a half for surgery, and right away we started the radiation and chemo.
So what were your thoughts going through your head during the following weeks besides your health? I mean, your family probably was a huge, thought going in your head, but what else were you kind of thinking?
Yeah, my first thought was my girls, what's going to happen to them, who's going to take care of them as well as I would, who's going to love them like I will. I actually didn't cry about the diagnosis. I got the call. So I guess I'll back up if that's okay. So we did, in December 13th of 2016, I got strep throat really bad, and it swelled up my throat, my lymph nodes on my left side. I went through that for like 10 days, and then I recovered, but the lump on the left side of my throat continued to grow, and just, it was like a golf ball was stuck in my neck. And finally, in the beginning of April, they started tests. So I went in for a biopsy. The biopsy came back negative. So I go to the doctor. He says, well, the biopsy's negative, but I don't feel good about it, so we're going to do it again. So they went in, they did another biopsy. It came back negative. So at that point, I'm like, okay, 2 biopsies, it's done, so I can tell my mom and dad that I just went through this scare, but everything's okay. So I called them, told them about it. And then 2 days later, the doctor calls and says, look, I know we have 2 negative results, and but we want to do one more test on the right-hand side. So they went in on the right-hand side, and it turns out everything on the left was in there for so long that it was necrofied, meaning that it was all just dead cells. So they could have tested for a human and it would have came back negative. And the right finally came back positive. So then they started the test. My surgery got moved up from just removing a benign cyst to, now a cancerous cyst, to May 23rd, which I didn't cry, going back to that, until I think it was May 20th, 3 days before my surgery, where I was in. They were giving me a detailed description of what to look forward to, what was going to happen. When they told me how long I was going to be out of work, that was the kicker. Is when they told me how much time I was going to be off work, and my finances were going to deplete instantly, and I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills and take care of my family.
So how did you find Vickie's Angels then? You obviously had that concern.
Yeah.
What led you to that?
So the way I found Vickie's Angels is through the hospital, the Hershey Medical Center. They sent me through. I talked to a number of people, and I was given pamphlets for the Red Cross and a number of other organizations, and Vickie's Angels was one of them. And I reached out, and they stayed in contact. Mickey and Christine kept a regular communication with me amongst all the other employees there, and they helped us tremendously through the entire ordeal.
Can you give some more details about what kind of things they helped you with, what expenses, and what else they did for you?
Yeah, so some things that they helped me with was my rent. I actually had to move in the middle of the chemo and radiation because the place that we lived, the landlords wanted to sell the house, and they were not understanding or empathetic about my situation. So we had to move. They helped us out with a security deposit into our new place, which was, a lot of money, over $1,000. Amongst them paying our rent a number of times in our old house, and a car payment they paid, and our outstanding electric bill after I think the 3rd month of treatment. So they really pulled us out of a huge headache.
Going more into that, so how do you feel like about all the help you received, and how do you feel that in that moment knowing that help was coming?
When I found out that Vickie's Angels was going to help us with these things, I just felt a huge feeling of relief and comfort, knowing that we were going to get through another month and things were going to be okay. And I just, my girls were going to be okay.
So do you have any advice for others in a similar situation? What would you say to them if you could give them any advice?
As far as like who?
For someone that needs assistance in financial anything, and they heard the news, kind of like what you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as what I can tell others who are going through something similar to what I went through, just know that help is there, and there's people that really care, and the Vickie's Angels Foundation is just an amazing group of individuals, and not just the people that work there, but everyone else who donates to the organization, and all their money is really going to a good cause. It's saved our life, really.
And then just one final kind of question for you today. What would you like to say to Mr. and Mrs. Vickie this year, Christine and others at Vickie's Angel Foundation that helped you out?
I love you guys. I love you all. I owe you everything for the rest of my life. I will always feel indebted to you for what you've done.
Awesome. That's great. That's pretty much all I really have, but if you have anything else you would like to add, let me know.
You can ask me questions, but
Yeah, I know it was amazing that Vickie's Angels really helped you. And
yeah.
Well, how about now we talk about a little bit of your success, because I know Christine kind of mentioned that to me. So could you go into kind of the aftermath, now that you're kind of recovering? Is Vickie still helping you, or kind of what happened after the initial shock? Kind of tell me more about the process.
As far as like
Yeah.
recently or
Recently, yeah. What's going on now? Are you still connected to Vickie's Angels, or now kind of you're back to work? Can you go into more of that?
Sure. So I started back to work December of 2017. I started back to work, and I was on light duty for a while. My work really worked with me, and they were very understanding. Vickie's Angels would reach out to me periodically just to check on me and see how I was doing. Asked me if I needed anything, which I no longer did. And I've been in regular communication with Christine ever since, maybe once every few weeks or so.
I think she mentioned to me that you're training for something. Is that true?
Yeah. I
Tell me
was
about
training.
that.
I was training for the Spartan race in Palmerton Sunday, but it got canceled. So
Do you have any backup
Yeah.
plan about what you're going to do next? Any future plans?
as far as the races
Yeah,
go,
racing.
oh yeah, they gave us a deferment for the Spartan race, so I'm gonna do the one in Philly, and then there's another one in West Virginia. So that'll give me more time to train too.
I bet you're so excited though. It's going to be amazing to feel that when you're done with the
Yeah,
race.
it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I lost 42 pounds during the whole ordeal, and I have about 10 pounds, or actually today, once I weigh 172 today. I have six more pounds to go to get back up to where I was. So on my way. My goal is 188 by the end of the summer. So 16 pounds to go.
That's great. That's awesome. Well, I think that's good for what we need, if you think so too. But besides that, I guess we can ask one last kind of question if you want to get into it. This would be a good kind of last one. So what kind of kept you going during this tough time? Was it Vickie's Angels? Was it your family? Was it a bunch of these things? Kind of go into depth if you could.
I actually, so my treatment plan was I think it was 7 weeks of radiation, and then 3 high doses of chemo. So I got cisplatin. I assume because of my age and my body condition, they just gave me this ridiculous dose. And the first chemo dose just completely, it put me out. It put me on the floor, and I just literally laid on the floor for 4 days. I'd have to drag myself up to drive to the hospital for radiation treatment every day. But it was awful, and I said, no more, I'm done, I'm not doing it anymore. I couldn't take it. And, my family and just everyone that surrounded me and all the people that were in my life before and all the people that came into my life just kind of all, they were my drive to continue on and push through it. And the doctors made some modifications in my treatment, and I began to do fluids every day when I'd go in for radiation. So that helped a lot. They said I was probably dehydrated, and that's why I had such a bad effect. It was almost like I was allergic to the cisplatin.
That's awesome.
It was scary though when I got you're not going to be able to use this, but when I got the treatment, the guy comes in, they put you in the hospital for 48 hours, and the nurse is, in there giving me IVs with fluid and everything. And then, is Christine in here?
Yeah.
Oh. So then when they come in, it was like 10 o'clock at night when they administered the chemo. The guy comes in like this ridiculous spacesuit, like head covered, mouth covered. I'm like, are you serious right now, man? Like, yeah, like you could have put me out. Like, you're not even wanting to touch this stuff, and you're about to pump it through my blood. So that was a little nerve-wracking. Christine, is there anything that you want to ask me that would help? Maybe.
No, I think everything you said was wonderful. I think it's so good.
And you're definitely a great success story, especially with you going to go do all the crazy runs. My sister does marathons. I know how insane it is. So I bet it's going to be amazing when you get.
Yeah, it's fun. I try to stay away from running, stay away from cardio.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm trying. Yeah.
I have 2 girls too.
Nice.
So what's it like kind of now when you get to see the girls and spend time with them? Did they ever talk about it? Did they ever ask you questions, kind of pointing back to that time where things were a little rough, obviously?
My oldest daughter tries to talk about it here and there, but she still gets a little upset because she's in fear of it coming back at some point, and I think she just kind of wants to put it out of her head and not think about it. My youngest still just doesn't. I still don't think that she understands what it was or what I was going through. But for me, it's like a second chance at life. That's why I got back into the gym as soon as I could, and I've been going heavy ever since. And I weigh myself every day to gym, and every half pound I'm thrilled about. So I'm slowly rising back up to the middle.
Were you happy that you chose to work with Vickie's Angels compared to the other pamphlets they kind of threw at you?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why we chose Vickie's Angels to reach out to. We heard about great things about Vickie's Angels from other people in the radiation waiting room and at the hospital, the Red Cross, and just people that work at Hershey Medical Center. So as soon as we realized that we were in trouble and that we were going to lose our house or have our electric shut off, we reached out, and they were so quick to help us and so helpful and just amazing with everything. We're just extremely grateful for them and everything they did for us.
I have one thing that is just how the process. Did you find it an easy process? In case we use this for other people who don't like to apply, was it?
What was your application process like?
The application process, we had to go through the FBI for background check, So the application process for Vickie's Angels, it was really simple and so easy. They really make it easy. They have an understanding of what you're going through and all the other difficulties that you're dealing with. So their first concern is to not just help you financially, but help make everything else that they can easier on you while you're going through all of the things that come along with cancer treatment and the chaos and everything that comes along with it. But it was very simple and very, very harmless.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.